Welcome to NXL 360. We just saw Kaizer Chiefs. The Glamour Boys, Naturena, Abafana Bachincha Kuluva, Makosamash. They visited Stellenbosch. Hunt. I used to say it's Hunt Gavin because he has forgotten how to coach. But now I'm calling him Gavin Hunt, not Hunt Gavin. Remember, this is the guy. He won 4 league titles, 3 with SuperSport, 1 with Vets. Actually, after Pitso Msimane is the second most successful South African coach. He's been brilliant. I mean, won the league with Vets, won the league with SuperSport United. All those teams are no more in the PSL. Vets are no more, SuperSport are no more. Then he went to Chiefs. He took Chiefs, guys, almost to the final of the Champions League. The last match he played against Chiefs when was at SuperSport United. He beat Chiefs 4-1 at FNB Stadium when was at SuperSport United. Before Stanley Matthews decided to sack him because he couldn't believe that Gavin Hunt was going to survive relegation while the coach of SuperSport United. But the story is Kaizer Chiefs are the first team to, first or second team, first in the PSL team this season, first defending champions to be knocked out of the Nedbank Cup. They were knocked out by Stellenbosch, a team that, if you look in the log, you look how Chiefs have been performing. It's one of those matches where you thought Amakosa Matre will defend the Nedbank Cup, but it doesn't look like they will defend the Nedbank Cup. No, they won't defend the Nedbank Cup. Not it doesn't. They're out of the Nedbank Cup. I've got Coach KP, football brain. I think for me, he's one of the best analysts in this country. Actually, who's better than you? Which analyst is better than you, coach? It's difficult, coach. It's difficult when I've worked with different people. When you watch TV, especially watch SuperSport, coach, maybe it's you and Simpwe Dludlu. Hey, yeah, coach. Please tell us, how did you saw the game? Okay, coach. How did you see the game, coach? Give us your roundup overview. Okay, Dibaba, please come in, my friend. Coach KP, I think the network is trying to act up, which I don't like. Ish, guys, please sponsor us with the satellite. I don't know what. But the network, obviously, we're using a Riverside app to record the show. Coach KP is in Pretoria, Dibaba is in Westville, Durban, I'm in Johannesburg. So obviously the network must be on par. Coach, I'm not sure if you are ready.
Yeah, I'm still trying to be ready, man. Nadim. Let's give it to Bob and then we'll take it from me.
Dibaba, come in.
Okay, yeah, good evening to the members of the public and to the NXL 360 family. Yeah, the game against Kaizer Chiefs playing against Stellenbosch, it was an entertaining game. It was really open in the first half and both sides had a goal. I think that Kaizer Chiefs started the game as like the nervy side. Yeah, they weren't brave enough to try and go and win the game. And I think that's where Stellenbosch pounced on and took the first opportunity of converting the penalty from a silly foul in the box. So I'd say that the first half, it was Stellenbosch who took their chances and Kaizer Chiefs didn't take their chances. And yeah, man, their starting lineup was not convincing. A few key players that are usually regular starters didn't play. So, you know, such games, you need your strongest team and you must put out your strongest boys so that you can get the results in the first place.
Yeah, no, I agree with Dibaba. If you look at the lineup, the pairing, it was Msimango and Miguel. The guys who have been doing brilliantly. Obviously, they were not playing. Which you feel like the Chiefs really didn't want to win the Nedbank Cup. If you look at the lineup, it's very clear. For me, I don't think it's one of those matches they wanted to go all out and win. They made a lot of changes. Even Lilepo is the kind of a guy who has been scoring in the last 2 matches. Scored one of the beautiful goals you'll ever see against Marumo Gallants. But again, he came in as a sub. Then you saw a guy like Simango coming in after a long time. Mabaso getting his first start at Kaizer Chiefs, then Dove being recalled, then Sereno. After a while, you see Sereno playing. You get to a point where you feel Kaizer Chiefs really didn't want to win this game. I don't know, coach, if I'm making a mistake there to say Chiefs is not a match. If they were playing a PSL match, I don't think they were gonna to go with this lineup. Maybe there's a feeling in Golden Highway. Golden Highway, coach, is when you go to past Naturena. There's a feeling that they might win the league. So the feeling, so they are now focusing on the league, sacrificing everything.
For me, I don't think that's the case. I don't think Chiefs wanted to sacrifice the game, and I just feel, you know, when you build on confidence, sometimes it gets to you as a coach. I mean, they've been scoring, they haven't been conceding goals, but look at when they don't need to concede goals, they concede 2 and they get knocked out. I mean, we're gonna have new champions as it is, as it stands. New champions needs to be there because the defending champions have been kicked out. To my surprise, and this goes back to what we had shot earlier on, I don't know if the Baba will agree with me. Chiefs went to a back five. And if you look at it, because I see you're talking about Miguel and who's that? The other pairing, given Musimango. But the left center back
Msimango.
was
Yeah, given
yeah.
Msimango, yeah.
If you look at it, they had Pasika Marco as a left wing back. They had Aiden McCarthy as a left center back. They had Miguel as a center back. And then on the right center back, they had Musimango. On the right wing back, they had Munyan, you see. So this is what I was saying. You know, when you're playing a back five or trying to attack with a wing back, Nadim, there's positivity and there's negativity in that lineup. The positive about this thing is numerical numbers. When you attack, you expect both fullbacks to move up. So numerically, you will have an advantage as compared to the opposition. When you defend, you expect them to drop back. You should also have more numbers, but it doesn't always work out that way because at the end of the day, these are human beings. Engine needs to go up and down, and then they get tired. But look at where Chiefs visit the game. The first 10 minutes, a penalty. That's a clear penalty. One would
So,
say, but the
coach,
ball
what's
was
your take that they decided to put Mabaso? I mean, Tulan Mabaso, obviously, it was his first start for Kaizer Chiefs. For me,
I
that
think
gives me the
yeah.
impression that they didn't want to win the game.
I don't think that's the case. I don't think there's a coach that goes into a team or into a game saying they don't want to win. This is what I was trying to explain, Nadim. When you're too confident, when you feel too happy, you think you are impossible to lose. I mean, why change? What they always say, if it's not broken, why fix it? The boy has been coming in as a sub. My boy has always started. So maybe they looked at where Stellenbosch is, they looked at themselves and they thought, well, maybe this will work out. So I don't think so. I don't know what the Baba thinks about Mava.
Yeah, no. I agree with you. I think they look at Stellenbosch, they felt we can have a legitimate chance here. Dibaba, I'm interested to know your opinion about Kaizer Chiefs starting Mabaso. I mean, Mabo has been brilliant, guys, in that position. If you look in the other games, but now suddenly, then you see a guy like Mabaso coming in. Do you think that selection? Did they genuinely believe that they can hold this Stellenbosch team coached by Gavin Hunt?
It's very surprising to see Maboe being on the bench. I mean, he's one of the most informed players currently at Naturena. Mabasa starting, it's his debut, as well as he's still a youngster. I think he would have done a good job if he came off the bench. Or you either replace him with Ndlovu, because I don't think Ndlovu had the best games today. So I think Mabue not being there to, start the build up, pass the ball to the creative players and getting the team ticking. I don't think that was the greatest decision from the coaches. And I think that you just don't break something that it doesn't need to be fixed. So you keep the same lineup, you keep the same players, and it's a cup game. You must try and win the game. That's the main thing, because this is a big club. They always want to win trophies and go far as possible during the tournament. So yeah, sometimes the coaches will make the wrong decision when they become too overly confident.
But
So staying with that,
so Nadine, so to cut this is one thing. Remember, we've been saying Chile is winning games, but we don't know how. You just see them playing. You cannot tell what system are they using. You cannot tell how do they build up to their goals. They've been scoring, yes. How do they get their goals? You saw Lulepo's goal, brilliant goal from the side. Others are saying it was a cross. So when such things happen, and especially if you look at their last two games, they tweak the lineup here and there, and it worked. So I don't know if big teams, I mean, in terms of Chiefs and Sundowns, are getting pressure of playing youngsters because Orlando Pirates youngsters are flourishing, or what happened? It really doesn't make sense why Maboy was on the bench. Why do you start him on the bench? But one can also come up and say, with the system being tweaked and being changed, maybe the best saw that it was suited for the youngster. But I think this was a bad game to start the youngster ahead of Maboy, especially looking at the fact that you are playing Gavin Hunt. You know Gavin Hunt is gonna play one dimension football. Go down the line, deliver a cross, or play over you. So you need somebody who can control this thing. I mean, I just don't understand why Maboy was on the bench.
yeah, no, it's not understandable why Maboy was on the bench. And also, coach, you can also say the same thing about Lilepo. Lilepo, it looks like was on form, scoring 2 goals, then he's on the bench again. That's why I'm saying, coach, it doesn't look like Kaizer Chiefs wanted to win the game, because if you want to win the game, the players that have been assisting you, because as you rightfully saw, Chiefs, you can't tell what is their game plan, what is their system, how do they attack. That's why I said Kaizer Chiefs, when they score or win, It's more like, okay, how did they score? Did they score a fair goal? Even now, people want Kaizer Chiefs score the goal. How did they score? Last week, we know Lelepo scored a beautiful goal. Before Arrows, we know they scored an offside goal. But today, how did they score? Okay, it's a penalty. A well-taken penalty for that matter. For me, it doesn't look like it looked like it was a bad decision, guys, to get rid of Nabi and not hiring a proper coach to replace. I know I've been saying it so many times, but it looks like Kaizer Chiefs, the squad of Kaizer Chiefs, I can't say it's a bad squad, but I honestly think with a proper coach, this team was going to be playing better. Because you look at a guy like Ngobo and Mabue, they were holding the midfield.
Nadim, sorry to cut you.
Yes, coach.
I don't agree. I don't agree with you when you say it was a bad. The two coaches have been doing well, Nadim. For where Chiefs is at currently, we need to give credit to them. Yes, they've missed this one. We need to understand it. But overall, this season, they're doing extremely well. They're doing way better than they were doing in the last or in the past season. So I think before we scrutinize them or kill them, let's give credit to them. I mean, this is the team that mathematically they're saying they are competing for the league if you look at the number of points they are on and all those things. So I personally feel they missed this one. Maybe they were overly confident. Also, you can take into consideration, Dibaba, the fact that Chiefs is playing a very important game coming this weekend where they need to win it in order for them to make it to the next round of African football. So maybe that's where they want to be. They want to
No,
be playing
okay,
the
coach, let me
confidence.
just correct you. Durban City can mathematically win the league. Kukune can mathematically win the league. AmaZulu can mathematically win the league. Kaizer Chiefs, so is Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. All the teams in the top 7, even TS Galaxy in that match, I don't think they're doing well. It's only halfway in the beginning of the season. Yes, they've gotten lucky here and there. Kaizer Chiefs have been getting lucky. For me, they are not doing well, Kaizer Chiefs. If I think you're contradicting yourself again, Coach KP, because you said you can't even tell the system they are playing. Then suddenly you are changing 360 degrees. They are doing well. How are they doing well, Coach, if you can't tell the system that they are playing? Dibaba, okay, Coach, I think is frozen there. Dibaba, how is Kaizer Chiefs doing well if they are still, we can't see their identity, we can't see the kind of team they are playing? And secondly, are you happy with the guys who are coaching Kaizer Chiefs? I know you're a Kaizer Chiefs supporter, so you need to be confident and tell me your honest assessment.
I'm not confident with the way they're playing. They're not following the club's culture, their identity, even the way they set up the team to attack or defend. There isn't a clear plan. I know that the defense has been doing well, but when you get to the final third, what is the end product? What are they trying to achieve? How are they playing when they're attacking teams? How are they exposing the other team's areas? And when you look at the co-coaches, I'm just not convinced with the type of coaching that they're giving the players at the training ground. You can tell that the players are not developing. They're not improving. They're not getting the best out of the players. I mean, they got a pool of good players at the club. So all in all, I genuinely don't believe in the co-coaches. Since they're out of the Nedbank Cup, we're out of the league. We're definitely not winning the league. Even in the Confed Cup, even if we get to the quarterfinals, I think maybe if we get there and we don't progress, it's a bad season. So it's a bad decision by the management, and the management needs to be held accountable because they're the ones that are making the decisions, and they should have got a sole head coach that is going to coach these players, get the best out of these players, and move forward with the club. So the management sometimes needs to be held responsible. They need to make the right decisions, and they need to make sure that they're representing the fans on their behalf because they're the ones that actually run the club, that actually make the right decisions. So even you can see by the players, by the way they're performing, it's like they're scoring out of luck. You can't have luck all the time in football. You need to produce good performances. It's better to lose while you're producing great performances. But these guys are not producing great performances. They're not scoring enough. But they are keeping clean sheets. But if you look at today, they conceded 2 goals. 2 goals, So you can see that too many changes in the lineup, no end product up front. Chances were created, not converting our chances. I think that's the biggest enemy so far this season. Not converting our chances when we do have them. When we get them, yes.
But Dibaba, I want to challenge you on something here. I hear you speaking
Yeah,
about the
Coach,
culture
before
in the
challenging him, please answer that question I asked you first.
Which question is it? Network was giving me issues. I'm listening. What is the question?
Okay, I wanted to ask you, Coach,
Yes.
if you are saying Kaizer Chiefs are doing well, but you are saying they don't have an identity. What do you mean?
Okay, so this is what I mean, and that's why I wanted to ask you. So remember when you speak about identity, especially I'll give you a typical example now. So everyone is making noise now. They want Bian and Shushan. Orlando Pirates. I'll tell you, Pirates is a transitional football team. It's a team that plays with wingers and flair. With Kaizer Chiefs currently, we don't have that. We don't know that. You don't know what kind of a football do you expect. But why am I saying they're doing well, Nadim? In the last 2 seasons, 3 seasons, at this time of the lock, where would Kaizer Chiefs be? They'll still be fighting for top 8. Currently, they are settled. That we all know that they are going to finish in top 8.
Yeah, that's why you've been saying they are lucky that they are there. Just like Skukune. Remember, coach, the one thing that, please get a pen and a paper, coach. I want you to understand this thing. Skukune, only 2 wins in the last 7 matches, but they are there and about. They are there and about the Skukune. They are only 1 point behind Kaizer Chiefs. Amazulu also have lost. How many games Amazulu they've lost? They've lost 5 matches, but they're in the same number of points. You can't say they're doing well. It's just like
No,
the
look
league, all the teams have not. So for me to say they're doing well, I wouldn't go that far. I think they are there and about, but they're not doing well. Stellenbosch showed us today that Kaizer Chiefs are not doing well.
No, maybe what I need to say, the reason why I'm saying they're doing well is because they're doing better than their last seasons. And as a football team, you can only be judged based on that. So they're doing better than their last season or their last 2 seasons.
Oh,
So
definitely.
that's
Yeah,
why
no, correct.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
why I need to. That's why I will give them credit and say there's something that is being done. Yeah, the identity, Dibaba, and all that. But would you rather have identity and still be out of top 10 or still be out of top 8? I don't think that's the case. Currently, Kaizer Chiefs players, I'm sure the confidence is high. Nadine. They have built confidence. They know they can beat most teams. I mean, how many teams have they? How many games have they lost? This is the team that has got 11 clean sheets. It's just unfortunate on the day where they concede goals, they get to be knocked out. You get me? So I think the coaches, as much as we are hard on, but I honestly believe that they need to be given credit with where the team is at currently, looking at the past seasons.
No,
so that's
coach,
where
how
I'm
do you
coming
give
from.
credit? Coach, sorry.
Uh-huh.
How do you
Yeah.
give credit with someone who's coaching with an earpiece? Who is he talking to?
We,
Cedric
Nadine,
Katz is always having an earpiece like here, like a pastor or waiting to take offering or someone. Who is he talking to?
we have seen a PSG coach coaching from the top, Nadine, as well. And
I'm saying, is the PSG coach coaching from the top? Yes. Who is Cedric taking instruction from? Because his assistant is next to him on the bench. Who is he talking to with that thing, earpiece?
maybe the analyst. Remember, all these teams have got analysts that sit at the top. Maybe they are having communication with analysts.
Then it's very clear. It's not coaching. Someone else somewhere is coaching. You can't see a coach coaching remote control. When does it get time to read the game and focus? If it's got ear, guys, that thing is distracting. That's why even here, coach. That's why I stopped putting it. I'm putting a mic. I stopped putting the ear thing. It's distractive, coach. You can't focus when you're listening to things here.
Let me tell you,
Yes,
let me
can
give you
I
homework. Yeah, I want you to come in, Dibaba. I just want to give you guys a homework. When you go watch the next game of Orlando Pirates, just check what do they put next to the bench at the top. There's sort of a speaker or a mic at the top of just on the bench and the corner next to the coach. You must check what do they put there. Go watch Mamelodi Sundowns. If you sit on the center line, you'll always have 2
No,
guys.
I'm
with a
saying the coaches of Sundowns and Pirates, they don't have an earpiece here. Who is he talking to? You need
But
to
they're
answer that
using-
one
they're
word, then
using a
Dibaba comes
different
in.
technology. No, they're using a different technology. They are communicating to analysts, but differently from how Kaizer Chiefs is doing it. I
Yeah,
have seen
then
it
that's
happen.
madness. To communicate to analysts is madness. It's madness. When you coach, you focus. You've got your assistant. Dibaba come in.
Yeah, Nadim, for me, I'm not convinced by the way they're performing. Regardless of the fact that they're doing well, you can see that the coaches are not coaching the players. They're not getting out of the best of the players that are currently playing at the club. Even with the squad selection, sometimes, you can see by the way they're selecting the teams and the way they actually play during games. They're not creating enough. They're not scoring enough. Not scoring enough. They're not converting their chances. That's the biggest worry. As much as the defense is solid, but there's no creativity. there is no creativity. What errors or mistakes do you identify from the previous game, and then you improve on them, and then you take them to the next game? That's where the coaching comes.
While on that,
You
Dibaba,
can't be
what's your
such a
take
big
on
club.
what's your take on the earpiece?
It's not coaching. You don't even know who's the actual head coach, as much as they are co-coaches. You can see that maybe he's communicating with the management. They're telling him who to sub on, who to bring on,
No, man,
and
come
the
on,
coach
not a
needs to stamp your authority. I know there's different
Yeah,
modes
because
no.
of
Coach KP,
technology.
in rugby, only see in rugby. In rugby, the coach sit upstairs, not in football. In
Nadim,
rugby, the
certain
assistant
things.
coach or the
Yeah, but there's
I'm
there's
listening,
no
coach.
enough clarity on the head coaching situation. There's not enough
Guys,
clarity,
let me
and even though you're working with co-coaches, it does happen. And unfortunately, they don't look like they've got someone that's in control and who's doing the tactical stuff for the team, and the one who's assisting the actual head coach. Even though there's both of them, you see all of them speaking at once. You see all of them making changes at once. Like, we need a firm leader. A big club like Kaizer Chiefs need a firm leader. They need someone that can lead and command and run the operation on the day. The analyst job is being done throughout the week. They analyze their own team, and then they analyze the opponents, and that's it. Game day, it's up to you. You must show off your coaching abilities on the day. You making the tactical changes or the formation, and you tweaking things, and you're getting the best out of the team. So with the earpiece,
Okay, yeah,
earpiece
thank you,
thing, it
Dibaba, for
does
that.
happen.
Coach KP, you are a coach. Coach KP,
Yes,
you are a
I want
coach.
to.
You even
Yes,
have players in the PSL. When you coach, do you
yes.
put something in the ear?
No, I don't because we don't have that technology. I
Guys,
don't.
now you're struggling to coach.
Nadim,
Okay, guys, let's move to
before you close,
Sundowns,
Nadim,
guys.
wait.
Sundowns managed
Wait,
1-2-1,
Nadim, wait.
2-1 against Gomora United. Coach KP, what's your take on that game?
Nadim, sorry, man, wait. Before you move to Sundowns, there's something that Dibaba said that Chiefs is not creating enough. I don't agree. On the 15th minute, Pulemori had a one-on-one. On the 34th minute, Chiefs missed a clear chance. On
No,
the
okay, the Chiefs.
35th minute,
Let's move on. Chiefs.
Chiefs
The Chiefs
made
lost the
like,
coach. They lost.
yeah, but no, this is what I'm saying. We don't kill people when they lose. This is why I always say the best time of coaching your team, Nadim, is when they're winning. You see, right now, the best time for Wadi to coach is now because he's winning. Kaizer Chiefs hasn't been. We have been hearing all this. So I agree
Yeah,
with you
but
guys.
it
They need
was
a
it
plan
was
for tomorrow.
self-destructing. Their best team was on the bench, so you can't really feel sorry
Thank
for
you.
them. If they lost,
Okay,
if Chiefs lost with Mabowe playing, with Ngobo playing, with Lilepo playing, starting the game, I will understand you. That's why we're so critical on Oado when he put Apolis, Mfokeng, Hoto on the stands. Yesterday, all those players started, they fought hard and beat Amazulu. Chiefs doesn't deserve any sympathy. They decided to put their best players on the bench. They deserve to lose. That's why I'm saying let's move on to Sundowns.
okay. Yeah, let's move on to Sundowns. I didn't watch the game. I was watching it, the highlights, and I think this was just a point to prove that Sundowns has really regressed, man. We all know that at any given
I watch
time.
it, coach, the game. I can give you a quick roundup, guys. Sundowns played,
Yeah.
scored 2 goals, unconvincing performances. It's very clear, guys. It was good to see Mshishi in the starting lineup. He played, then was taken off by Miguel Cardoso. It's very clear that black players at Sundowns, it looks like there's an agenda to sabotage black players because obviously he came in, then Resinho came in. It's very clear that the black players, the idea, black players must fail. The coach was worried that if Zwane continues to play, he might score. Then the fans will say, why have you not been playing Zwane? We need Zwane. You must play Zwane in the calf. That's why the coach was very careful, take him out before he score. Obviously, Sundowns, guys, it looks like there's a problem there. The problems are caused by the management of Sundowns, starting by Fleming back. I understand the frustration of Sundowns. Where is it coming from? Yes, they won 2-1, but they lost to a team that is struggling in the NFT. In 17 matches, Gomora have won only 3 matches in the NFT. But the 2-1, it tells you everything that you want to know. And we saw players like Modiba getting woman of the match. You ask yourself, why Modiba has not been playing? Shaulile obviously came in and scored, but you feel that you need to start every game. Then Murena obviously scored the second goal. At Sundowns, guys, you see a player like Sibia playing ahead of Modiba, who's the Bafana International. Then you see a player like Sibia starting ahead of Pasadine, Divine Lunga, who are all national team players. Then you realize that there's an agenda where black players, local players must suffer. The coach would rather say, I win with youngsters and European players and South American players. Yesterday, one coach and Dibaba, it was an unconvincing match. At any time, if Maqhubu he had a chance to equalize, if he equalizes 2-2, it goes all the way to extra time penalties. No one knows what was going to happen. So for me, I feel like Mamelodi Sundowns are on a self-destructive mission. It's very clear.
Okay.
I expected them to score at least minimum of 4 goals against Gomora United because it's a team that, I mean, there's players, there were issues that some of the players might not even go there because they are not paid. At Sundowns, the players are getting paid on time. Sometimes when they are sleeping and waking up, they just see bonuses. They don't even know what is the bonuses for. But they are playing a team that is struggling. Then they cannot even dominate them and score because coach, it wasn't a domination. It was an unconvincing victory by Mamelodi Sundowns. That's my assessment. Dibaba, what's your take on this game? How did you see it? If you saw it,
Yeah, the Sundowns camp, there are really issues behind the scenes. And when you look at the scoreline, it really shows that Gomora came to the party. They obviously been watching them, prepping for them, and credit to the coaches for Gomora that they're third division side, but they went they're not a third division side, but they're playing in the MFC. Sorry, but
NFD,
coaches
yeah.
that plan, that take the time to prepare for those games and execute their plan, such results will come. And I mean, Sundowns, they didn't actually put their foot into this game and make sure that they dominate the game like a big side. So I'm not really surprised when the score was 2-1. And the funny part is that the players that are not regularly playing are the ones that are performing. And then you ask yourselves why those players are not playing. And some of them are international players. Like an example, like Ushalulile. The guy is scoring goals. He works hard. He contributes for the team. He's a good member of the squad. And then Omotiba is not playing, but it's a Bafana International. And then you're getting Umalibonge Khoza starting. And then you ask yourself, like, the guy hasn't been playing for quite some time and he came back from an injury. So, this thing of putting Rosinho in the lineup, it's not convincing. He hasn't earned the right to play in the team, but yet they keep putting him week in, week out. And if you look at the last 3 games, they've been changing their back line, even the midfield department and the front line. So they don't have enough consistency. But in all, not a convincing performance. Really, the management needs to take the right decision. And, even if they have to get rid of the sporting director, change the coach, do it now before things get worse. So I'm not really convinced, and credit to Gomora for giving it a good fight, but obviously the quality prevailed at the end of the day.
No, then actually, coach, the quality prevailed at the end of the day. I know for a fact that Flemingbeck doesn't like black players. I remember when Teboho Mokoena won the player of the season. I heard from people inside the Sundowns that Flemingbeck was so angry, saying people they don't know how to vote in South Africa. The guy that should have been winning the player of the year was Allende. He was even saying Mkhulisi should be playing ahead of Uzwane. Mkhulisi is better than Zwane. It's very clear he doesn't like the players he found there. He wants to bring his own revolution. He wants to bring his own team. That's the agenda. I feel sorry for the black players at Mamelodi Sundowns because it's from far. You don't even have to talk to anyone. It's very clear that they are being treated unfairly. Themba Zwane, Tembisa Boy, is the legend of the club, one of the greatest players ever at Sundowns. In the history of Sundowns, one will put Themba Zwane in the top 10 in the history since the inception of Sundowns. But to see how he's getting ill treated, guys, the guy is fit. He doesn't trust him. He's showing that he would rather play Rosinho or whoever, not Zwane in serious matches. Guys, as we wrap up, your last words with both teams, then we wrap it up.
Yeah, man. With me, in closing, when it comes to Sundowns, it's just, I don't know, man. You can just see regression, and regression, and that's sad to see a team that has been doing so well. But I love what Udi Baba had said, giving credit to Igor Mora, because in most cases these teams come way too hungry. But for the level of Sundowns that Sundowns should be at, I mean, even if Gomora is playing well, they should have gotten 4. So this just proves how bad things are going at Mamelodi Sundowns. And for the rotation, it's understandable for me with the rotation happening week in and week out. I mean, these guys are playing 3 different competitions. They just played the Nedbank. They are preparing for the Champions League coming. They are traveling. So it does make sense why they are changing the team as they are. I hope you are wrong, Nadim, with the treatment of the players. I'm gonna try and take a blind eye and say there's no such thing. Please hear me right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just going to try and take a blind eye and say it's not happening for the sake of the South African football, not only Mamelodi Sundowns, because it would be sad to hear those that are playing now to come up and say we were being ill-treated because of our skiing. I think that's how I close it.
No, coach, I don't like it. Also, I've heard it from for the past 3 years. I mean, there was a story of Gren Kekana where he was given a contract, and then the same money he got when he was at SuperSport United. From what I've heard, it was 150,000. And then he wanted a 3-year contract. Then Flemingberg gave him a 1-year plus option. Then he complained that why is not increasing. Flemingberg came back with 1 year without option. Obviously, the senior management end up intervention. It's very clear for me. The coach will want to see Resinho, all the guys, Santos, Leon, Allende, doing so well at the expense of local-based players. It's very clear. I don't even have to be convinced by anyone. And I don't like to see it happening because Sundowns is one of the team that just put South African in the map. You go to AFCON, I mean, Bafana nearly won the AFCON with Sundowns players. You look at the Champions League, Sundowns are competing every year. 9 consecutive years, you see Sundowns there. And it's local-based players. Sundowns is been doing so well with local-based players and African-based players born in Africa, not with South America and Europe. Guys, Tibaba, your last words as we wrap.
Yeah, I just hope that the situation of the club becomes better. And personally, in my own opinion, things are not working out to Cardoso. You can see it on the field. He's very, very under pressure. So, he just needs to play the right players and try and get results going forward. Unfortunately, it's not nice to see a fellow coach in this situation, but it's professional football. It does happen. And, just play the right players, man. If you have to use your experienced players, just do it.
Tibaba, I want to ask you something. If Cardoso, Ek Masina, a former Springbok player, sent me a message on Sunday when I was leaving Rema Church, he asked me if Cardoso was white, will he still be at Sundowns? Bearing in mind how Sundowns chased Mangoba and Rulani. Yes or no? I want to know as we close.
Hey, man. Unfortunately,
yes or no?
Yes. Unfortunately, yes. You can see it that he's staying longer than the previous coaches. So it's evidence.
So if he was black, he was going to be fired.
He was going to be gone. There was no second chance. We have seen it with our previous coaches. It has happened a lot. So, yeah.
For me, that looks like racism, coach. Yes or no? If it was black, will it be there at Sundowns or not?
No, you wouldn't.
Very clear, guys. Thank you so much. I've got 2 guys who are honest, Coach KP and Tibaba. Coach, thank you so much. Tibaba, thank you so much. See you next time, guys. That was the view of me, Nadim, and Coach KP and Tibaba, how we saw the 2 matches. Kaizer Chiefs obviously being eliminated by Stellenbosch. Gavin Hunt, congratulations, Coach Gavin. We have done well. I mean, you come back at Durban City. We don't know what happened. We put the team in the top 8. Jiggy. Patela is now a better coach, is taking over. Now we have got an assignment to save Stellenbosch, because if Stellenbosch get relegated, it will be sad for Western Cape football. But from what I saw today, I can confidently say it looks like Stellis will stay. Guys, thank you so much. See you next time. See you next time. Continue subscribing. NXL 360. See you again.